Now in this training video, we will cover steps 2 and 3 of the 5S process: set in order and shine. Even though these are two distinctly different steps, they do share some commonalities, and as such we cover them in one training session. Many people define 5S as housekeeping or workplace organization. It is, of course, much more than just that. However, one could argue that the first 3 components of 5S are indeed about housekeeping, and that the 4th and 5th S, standardize and sustain, are about establishing a culture of discipline around standard work. This is the reason that 5S is a foundational tool for all lean transformations. Well, most frequently people define it as a place for everything and everything in its place. Now in this photo, we're looking from the prisoner's perspective as they're eating inside the prisoner cafeteria. We're looking through some white bars into the kitchen. And through there you see a shadow box or a shadow board where knives and cleavers should be placed. And I ask people, well, what's so important about this? And someone might say, well, you know where to put the knife back. But even more importantly, we know when one's missing. It's wise to start off by drawing a spaghetti diagram of the walking path of the associate, not the product itself, but by the person working within that area, so that you can visually see and experience, in accordance with going to the Gemba, the travel required to do the job. Now, some of the other elements of set in order might include signboards. We use signboards for inventory to create simple visual order for all necessary items so that they may be kept and used in the most efficient manner possible. Now, what I always think about and get people to understand is that, let's say that you pull into a parking lot at a supermarket. Now, you have not received any instructions, you've not received any training, but you know instinctively where to go. And at the end of the day, at the end of the shift, we want them back in their parking space. Everything has its own parking space. Additionally, you might consider bear claws marking a path or a direction in which an operation or a person goes, or perhaps arrows to identify the product flow path. So now that we've looked at the bigger picture, let's look at the detail level, specifically work areas and workbenches in which we mostly focus in on the elimination of the waste of motion, reaching, grabbing. This, of course, is very much focused in on the idea of safety and having a safe environment. How do we set in order the detail level, the work area, the bench? We want to maybe organize by usage, not by type. That's very unusual. Let me give you an example. Place things within the safety strike zone to reduce motion and improve overall ergonomics. Generally speaking, the best work zone is vertically from the armpits to the belt line, in this area here, and then horizontally by forming an arc by swinging your arms like so. So let's now talk about the transition from set in order to shine. Another very common misunderstanding is that shine is about cleaning up. It's not. In fact, it should be about not cleaning up. I know that sounds odd. I bring this up many times when I train people, and I say the purpose of shine is to not shine. It confuses people. They don't get that. Well, here's why. Now, during these daily shines, the reasons why the actual condition does not look like the photograph standard, those should be recorded and visually displayed so that the team can take action to eliminate the root causes. Besides being the main source of eliminating the need to clean, shine also benefits the organization by preventing the spread of dirt and grime and dust and spills throughout the workplace by making sure it never leaves its original source in the first place. It benefits the organization by identifying small problems early on and correcting them before they turn into big problems. Of course, then we go through the process of implementing all of our shining and inspection methods. And finally, we have a visual method of communicating the problems and correcting those problems for all to see. Many people like to stop here because everything looks so good and they want to jump into the next process area as soon as possible. As I've mentioned several times before, this needs to be avoided. Otherwise, all of your work up to this point is for naught, and the area will revert back to its old self. Standardize and sustain must take place before moving forward to the next area.